Chapter 29, 3-Year Plan. The little girl had long climbed up the chariot, and seeing her grandfather fuming in anger, she giggled. Her little body barreling towards her grandfather's embrace, she said, "Grandpa, don't be angry, Xor will give you some ha ball, he he he." While chewing on the sour sweet ha ball in her mouth, the old man could only reluctantly squeeze out a smile, stretching out a hand to caress his granddaughter's hair. However, his heart remained extremely heavy. If this is the case, then wouldn't it be this bag of old bones ruining my granddaughter's marriage? He took yet another long sigh, steeling his heart that after the audience with the emperor, he would immediately head to condemn that disgraceful old fogey. Slightly in front of the purple-robed old man's chariot, which was emblazoned with the symbol of a golden chrysanthemum flower, there was a chariot with over 10 soldiers escorting. Inside that chariot, Ling Tian was reclined inside without any poise whatsoever. Opposite him sat Ling Tian in an upright position, showing extreme respect towards him. His hands and legs seemed to have no place to comfortably rest on, making him look as though he was extremely uncomfortable. Ling Tian cast a glance at him before speaking, "Ling Tian." Ling Tian hurriedly shot up straight, "Young noble, this little one is here, awaiting your instructions." At this moment, after witnessing for himself the power of Ling Tian, the latter in Ling Tian's heart was not simply just his master and person to show loyalty towards, but rather more like a deity to worship. In his life, this was the first time he had seen someone actually use a pair of bare hands to grind limestone into powder. Don't even talk about seeing it, Ling Tian had never even heard of such a thing. Even the legends did not speak of such an incident happening. Ling Tian could only heave a sigh. "Sit down, Ling Tian. Next time when you're around me, there's no need to be so respectful and cautious, I'm not used to it. Just revert back to your original personality, that would be fine." Ling Tian sprang upright, "Yes, young master." Letting out a groan, Ling Tian tossed his hands up in defeat, saying, "Forget it, do as you wish." Ling Tian returned to his seat, but still kept his body ramrod straight. "Ling Tian, how old are you right now?" Replying, "Young noble, I'm currently 9. "Oh, already 9 years old, that's a little late. Have you practiced any martial skills in the past?" Replying, "Young noble, I have not. I only learned some body strengthening methods from the martial arts instructors in the protection courts." "Oh, then no wonder." As to what he suspected, Ling Tian did not say, but Ling Tian understood it in his heart. It was probably this little bit of insignificant foundation that was the reason that mysteriously allowed him to be noticed by Ling Tian. At this moment, in Ling Tian's heart, he could not help but feel gratitude for the instructor who had taught him a little of the body strengthening art. "Ling Tian, you were still feverish just now. How are you right now? Do you still feel dizzy?" Ling Tian felt his eyes start to sting. After being on the run for nearly a month and having tasted the coldness of human emotions, this was the first time someone had really cared for his well-being. "Thank you for the attention, young master, I no longer feel dizzy. This shows that your body constitution is passable. I will follow suit and include a regime of training meant to help you to resist the influence of drugs and poison. In future, this will be an asset to further guard your life." Ling Tian pondered for a while more, before slowly speaking, "Ling Tian, right now, listen carefully to the arrangements that I've made for you and what I can help you with." Ling Tian had an expression full of excitement and emotion as he respectfully replied, "Yes. May young noble please instruct me. On the side of your enemies, what I can do is, within these 3 years, I will not lay a single finger on Bloodrose Hall. Do you understand what I'm saying?" Ling Tian slowly spoke. Feelings of gratitude appeared in the eyes of Ling Tian, as he replied, "Yes. Ling Tian understands." He could completely understand the underlying meaning of Ling Tian's words, which was to leave the annihilation of Bloodrose Hall to him, so as to allow him the chance to personally avenge his blood feud. As a son, he wanted to use the fresh blood of his enemies to comfort his parents' souls in heaven. Ling Tian let out a satisfied smile. As the first sword under me, 3 years later would be the time to test out this sword of mine. As for Blood Rose Hall, it will serve as the first whetstone for your growth. In these 3 years, I will not do anything towards Blood Rose Hall. Neither will I bother to put pressure on them. However, after 3 years, I want the entire Blood Rose Hall to completely and entirely disappear by your hands. No matter how large they've grown. Ling Tian silently listened, his eyes flashing with bloodthirst. Upon visualizing the scene of the members in Blood Rose Hall falling under his sword as well as moaning and begging for forgiveness, his eyes lit up with excitement. Pausing for a moment, Ling Tian lazily continued, in these 3 years, I will teach you the pinnacle of killing sword arts in this world, increasing your killing skills on all fronts. If you aren't able to annihilate Blood Rose Hall after 3 years of me coaching you, then I will personally silence you. The moment he reached the last sentence, Ling Tian's tone turned exceptionally severe. Ling Tian felt a jolt pass through his entire body and his eyes turned steely. Biting off each word clearly, he replied, "Young noble, rest assured. If after the painstaking effort by young noble yourself, I still am unable to demolish Blood Rose Hall, I, Ling Tian would not have the face to remain in this world any longer either." With an end sound, Ling Tian spoke, "From now on, you must be prepared. In the process of training you, there will be countless dangers you have to face. There is a chance that you will not be able to keep up with my training rhythm and end up losing your life. However, once you have passed my drills, then in this entire continent, you will move unhindered." Ling Tian shuddered from head to toe and his eyes turned bloodshot. What could be seen in the depths of his eyes was an unwavering determination to succeed or die trying. Ling Tian now calmly stood up and pulled open the screen of the chariot, leisurely getting off the vehicle. As he walked, he said, "I'm now giving you the chance to be strong, to get your revenge. The rest depends on you. Follow me." Ling Tian also hurriedly got down, and as he looked up, a massive and impressively grand golden-colored door appeared before his eyes, Ling Residence. All his hopes and dreams would start from here. The people inside the Ling Residence all saw their own young master actually bringing back a filthy and dirty-looking beggar back, and all of them revealed looks of astonishment. Walking through the main door, he ordered his personal maid Kaiyu, "Sister Kaiyu, this little child is the study companion that I've bought just now. Could you bring him for a bath and a change of clothes, get him some food and sort him out before sending him to my room?" The moment he finished, he started to walk away on his own. Kaiyu received a rude shock, before running behind him and calling out, "Young master, the madam wants you to go to her room when you are back. She says that she has something to tell you." In a flash, Ling Tian spun around, scowling at her, "Remember this. All who are in the Ling Residence, none is allowed to call me young master. Just call me young noble, do all of you understand?" His voice resounded just like a crack of thunder. Kaiyu was frightened out of her wits, her heart palpitating wildly as she hurriedly saluted, "Yes, young noble, this servant will remember." With a HMPH sound, Ling Tian continued, "Kaiyu, I want you to inform all the servants in Ling Residence that if I ever hear someone call me young master again, I'll pull out his tongue and break both his legs." Kaiyu, as well as those bodyguards situated at the front of the main gate, all could not help but feel a shiver go down their spines. In the Ling Residence, this young master's words were no joke. He even dared to mess around with Master Ling Kong's only son. What would he not dare to do? The crowd expressed their agreement profusely. On his side, the shadow of Ling Tian could not even be seen anymore. Chapter 30, Plan Marriage. For the whole of today, where exactly did you run off to? Instead of studying hard, why did you run off elsewhere? Chu Tinger held onto the feather duster with one hand, looking imposing and intimidating. Your child went out to play for a while only, then came straight home. Scratching his scalp, Ling Tian put on a mask of innocence. Oh? Ha ha ha, playing a while refers to the whole day? And to think you still dare to say that you came straight home? Chu Tinger spoke, not knowing to laugh or to be angry. Seeing how his son wore a face of nonchalance, it pissed her off, but at the same time made her want to burst out into a smile. She stretched out her hand to pinch his smooth cheeks, and with that pinch, she fondly pulled him into her chest. Go and groom yourself properly, and don't go out tomorrow, your wife will be visiting. My wife? Even with memories of 2 lives, Ling Tian still felt his brain crash. Where had this wife come from? In my 2 lives, I've always been a pure and untainted little chick. Nodding her head with certainty, she took the chance to pinch Ling Tian's face once again. Yes, your wife, ha ha ha. My Tanner is already so big, how could he do without a wife? Ling Tian was at a loss for words. If he did not remember his appearance wrongly, right now he should still be having the body of a 5-year-old child. Could it be that early marriages and early childbearing in the ancient times were actually at such a state? Under Chu Tinger's explanation did Ling Tian finally understand. Turns out that when he was still in his mother's stomach, grandfather Ling had gone to meet up with the greatest financial magnate, the Zhao family head, and proposed a marriage with his daughter-in-law's child. Both sides agreed that if both were males, then they would be sworn brothers, if they were both females, they would be sisters, and if it was a male and a female, then they would be a couple. Ling Tian suffered from a burst of depression. This system of feudalism could really cause the death of someone. What age was this, that a 5-year-old child could have already completed his lifelong milestone of being married? Ling Tian was certainly unhappy about this. He thought of actually pursuing someone to be his future wife. This could be due to the fact that even in his previous life, he had never tasted the feeling of being in love. In his heart, Ling Tian felt that love was full of mysteriousness, and was something he was looking forward to. Furthermore, in the depths of Ling Tian's heart, he was in conflict with the sort of political and beneficial marriages formed between families so as to boost both families' alliances. He also detested the fact that the family would sacrifice their descendants to carry out such a method. It was indeed true that in this world, only the strong would be respected. However, this definitely did not include love. One could even say that power and might could get you any woman's body, but not her heart and love. And what Ling Tian wanted was a lover, not a wife in name or a tool for venting his lust, no matter if she was as beautiful as an immortal. Mother, I do not wish to have a wife. Please help me to reject the marriage. Ling Tian held on to Chu Tinger's arm, shaking it left and right, as he put on an attitude like a child throwing a tantrum. Bleg. Ling Tian vomited a little mentally, but he had no choice. Since this mother was not receptive to both hard and soft methods, the only way to deal with this problem was to use this move. Ling Tian had to act like he was immature. This won't do. Chu Tinger put on a fierce face, being resolute and not giving any ground to him. Your grandfather specially secured this marriage for you, how could it be poor? The other party must be a little beauty. Ling Tian furrowed his brows in reluctance and unwillingness, saying, no matter how pretty she is, she definitely cannot compare to Mother. Mother is the prettiest. He ruthlessly bootlicked his mother, since such words were welcome in the ears of most women. Let alone being said by their own child, which contained only the most sincere admiration from someone whom she had weaned as well as a sense of dependence. Indeed, Chu Tinger immediately became more cheerful upon hearing that. With her face blossoming, she fiercely kissed Ling Tian's face while saying, so nice of you, Tanner. After being affectionate for a while, Chu Tinger finally said, oh right, Tanner, after you went out today, Mr. Qin wasn't too happy about it and his face was quite ugly to behold. You have to be careful this time and be a good boy, else if your teacher beats you, I won't be bothered about it." Ling Tian smiled to himself. The reason Mr. Qin was in low spirits was probably because of himself, but not like what his mother had described. Instead, it was because that old man was sure of himself, and yet had unknowingly been brought for a ride by a child merely 5 years of age. It would be surprising if he did not feel any indignation towards the matter. "I'll go take a look." Ling Tian turned his body to leave. "By the way, Mother, I brought back a little beggar from outside today. Let him follow me from now on." Before Chu Tinger had the chance to reply, his shadow could not be seen already. Chu Tinger could only let out a curse, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. This little fellow, how was this considered a request? It was more like merely informing her. As for why Ling Tian did this, Chu Tinger also understood. He was saying that he wanted the little beggar as his own personal attendant, and that they had better not employ him to do other tasks. Forget it, let him do as he pleases, Chu Tinger thought to herself, as she called over a serving maid and gave her a few instructions. Mr. Qin had a face full of black lines as he sat alone in the study room, still feeling gloomy about the fact that he got taken advantage of in the morning. As he sulked, he realized that Ling Tian was behaving furtively at the doorstep, and could not help but scold, "Since you've come back, why don't you come in? What are you looking at?" Sniggering to himself, Ling Tian walked to stand in front of Mr. Qin. With a HMPH sound, Mr. Qin turned his head the other way. Toward this student of his, he had a love-hate relationship. Any word he spoke once would be captured and understood by Ling Tian, who could furthermore provide his own viewpoint to that matter, often allowing Mr. Qin to receive some enlightenment. Mr. Qin dared to conclude that Ling Tian could definitely inherit his legacy in future, promoting his studies and name to all under the heavens. However, what made him helpless was the fact that this student was just too smart. And it was obvious that he had not put in all his brain power into his studies. All his previous methods to coerce little children could not be used against him. Even to the point that giving him encouragement would result in him arguing back an entire chapter in return, and it would flow out in a torrent, with every word polished like a pearl. This usually made Mr. Qin enthralled as he realized that words could be used in such a way. In the end he would snap out of his trance, not knowing then who was the actual teacher and who the student was between the two of them. Sneaking a glance at Mr. Qin's facial expression, Ling Tian could naturally tell that his mood was not good, thus he decided to stretch his tongue and say, "Sir, this student has a matter which needs your help to clear my confusion." As he spoke, his expression and tone were all prim and proper. As Mr. Qin heard this, his heart was filled with satisfaction, quickly turning his head back. "Ha ha ha ha, good student, come say out any doubts you have, teacher here will say all that he knows, without withholding any information." HMPH, you little rascal, after all, the stuff that you know in this world is actually very little. With a groan, Ling Tian made a sour face as he said, "Just now Mother told me that my pre-arranged fiancé is about to arrive." Mr. Qin was stunned. Only after quite a while did he come to his senses and furiously asked, "This is the question you wanted to consult your teacher with?" After his anger subsided somewhat, he realized that this was actually quite amusing. A wimpy kid merely a few years of age was already having a fiancé. Ling Tian sighed in an exaggerated manner before continuing, "How is that so? If I could settle this small problem easily, why would I bother great teacher?" Mr. Qin nodded his head slightly at this, appearing satisfied. However, Ling Tian actually continued, "Besides, Mr. is completely unable to be of help as well." Mr. Qin immediately flared up in a rage, "Bullshit! What kind of nonsense are you spouting?" Chapter 31, Zhao Family Prowess. Ling Tian then giggled before saying seriously, "I have another request for teacher." Seeing Ling Tian all serious, Mr. Qin did not dare delay before replying, "Speak." Ling Tian then said, I want to have all the information that you know regarding the Zhao family." Mr. Ken then exclaimed, "Zhao family? Your future wife is from the Zhao family?" In his heart, he was thinking about why he did not know about this. Ling Tian then sighed as he nodded. "Furthermore, she is the only little princess of the Zhao family. I heard that the lass is called Zhou Yanzu and is also 5 this year." Mr. Ken then did not know whether to laugh or cry as he replied, "You are both of the same age and you call her lass? You really like to brag." Ling Tian then giggled and asked, "What does Mr. knows about the Zhou family?" Mr. Ken then replied with a proud smile, "With regard to the Zhou family, I am the right person for you to ask. Although I do not dare say that I know everything regarding the Zhou family, I know at least most of it. This old man and the Zhou family head have been good friends for many years." Ling Tian became interested as he walked to Mr. Ken's back and massaged him lightly. At the same time, he said, "Then will Mr. please tell me about it?" Mr. Ken twiddled with his beard with satisfaction and said, On account of the fact that you are so filial, your teacher will explain to you the matters of the Zhou family." Ling Tian nodded and began to listen carefully. The Zhou family has an extremely special existence in the whole continent. This family is not any weaker than the 6 great families in the world today. But the Zhou family is able to distance itself from the royal family and yet receive benefits from all of the different nations. Besides that, the Zhou family's wealth is publicly recognized as the first in the world. Furthermore, it is publicly known that their wealth was slowly accumulated through ordinary business means and a result of many generations of hard work. As Ling Tian listened to this point, he could not help but sneer in his heart. Full of lies. This was the thought in Ling Tian's heart. Able to become the world's first without using any underhand means? This is something Ling Tian would never believe. Even in the earth where he stayed in his previous life, it is also impossible for one to achieve such heights only through honest means. Not to mention, this place which was still in the warring states with great chaos all over. However, Ling Tian did not say anything and silently listened to what Mr. Ken had to say. The Zhou family head is called Zhou Fenghan, great with skill and strategy. In the past, he roamed around the continent and was a life and death brother to your grandfather, Ling Zan. Due to the fact that your grandfather had saved his life many times, the both of them were extremely close. Your pre-planned marriage was probably a doing of the both of them. The Zhou family had begun to change its main dealings 30 years ago from the civilian to the military industry. From then on, the Zhou family specialized in the dealings of armors and weapons. It was also from that time on when the Zhou family established its standing as the world's wealthiest family. The wealth of the Zhou's family can be easily explained with a single point. Currently, there are 7 empires in the continent. Of the arms in the Star-Falling Empire, Heaven's Blessing Empire, Burning Phoenix Empire and our own empire, at least half of them were purchased from the Zhou family. As for the other 3 empires, there were at least 30% bought from the Zhou family. Ling Tian took in a cold breath. If he were to follow such calculations, the accumulation of wealth over the years would mean that the Zhou family was wealthier than the 4 great empires combined. Being this wealthy, they can literally do anything they want in this world. Even if they were to deal with a small empire, they would be able to settle anything with money. Money can't solve anything, this phrase does have its own logic. But if the amount of wealth reaches a stage where everyone in the world finds it to be frightening, then money is able to solve everything. There is nothing that such wealth would not be able to solve. Thinking about this, Ling Tian began to conceive ideas in his head. It seems like that Zhou family must have contributed much for the Ling family to have its current standings. With such a strong alliance as an in-law, it is no surprise that the Ling family is still able to remain standing despite the adversities. However, the Zhou family was indeed extremely bold. They actually dared to give up on all other businesses and specialize in the dealings of armor and weapons, which is a big taboo of an industry. You have to know, this industry is something which every empire would covet after. If any of the 7 empires in the continent absorbs the Zhao family, they would definitely have the capabilities to unite the whole continent. Such an attraction was something which no empire would be able to resist. Since Ling Tian was able to realize this fact, then everyone should be able to as well. But why was it such that no country had made its move until now? With the delicate balance of power in the continent currently, any small movements would definitely create a huge storm. As long as a single party were to show signs of threat, all of the other empires would definitely gather to suppress that empire. However, this was not the main reason the different empires were staying silent. Unifying the continent was the dream of every ruler. In order to unify the continent, there would definitely be risks involved. But if they were able to completely eat up the Zhao family in a short time, the benefits they would reap would be worth much more than the risk they were taking. If that's the case, there was only a single reason left. The Zhao family definitely has a powerful military might which no one else knew to protect the safety of the Zhao family. As he thought about that, Ling Tian could not help but ask in doubt, such a fat piece of meat, it can't be that no one wants a piece of it, right? Mr. Ken then nodded his head in agreement. Of course there are many people who want a piece of them. You have to know, there were 11 empires in this continent 25 years ago. But now, there are only 7 left. The 4 empires which disappeared were the ones who wanted a piece of this meat. Ling Tian took in another cold breath, destroying 4 nations? Since the Zhao family possessed such strength, why did they not unify the continent themselves? Mr. Ken nodded his head in reply, it is not that they do not wish to unify the continent. It is because they are already the target of many powerhouses. If they were to take any action, it would also become their ending. Even the 4 empires from back then did not form an alliance to attack together. Instead, they fought individually. The Zhao family had only defended against a single wave of attacks from them. Following which, the other nations had attacked together to destroy them. Just from this point alone, it can be seen that while the Zhao family had the ability to protect itself, it was still far from unifying the continent. Besides that, it is said that the first leader of the Zhao family, Zhao Qingyun, was a reincarnated celestial. He was adept in divination with many peculiar abilities. Before he died, he had performed divination for the Zhao family and left behind a will. If the Zhao family were to continue with its business, the foundations of the Zhao family would not perish. But if it were to have any ambitions to unify the continent, the whole family would be wiped out for sure. Ling Tian then sneered and laughed, reincarnation of a celestial? Will of an ancestor? Divination? What a joke. Sir, do you really believe that? Mr. Ken replied with a bitter laughter, it doesn't matter whether or not I believe it. In fact, it would not affect the present state of the continent even if no one in the continent believes it. But the key is that the Zhao family had always followed this will. Besides that, the Zhao family had always been doing their business peacefully without a single person of the Zhao family becoming a government official of any country. They had always been extremely peaceful, keeping to the will of their ancestors. Thus, despite how the various nations all covet after the Zhao family, they were extremely careful towards them, keeping this delicate state. With regard to what Mr. Ken said, Ling Tian sneered with disdain. He then said, I am sure that every empire is definitely eyeing covetously at the Zhao family and awaiting an opportunity. As for the Zhao family, they have not given up on unifying the continent either. It is just that all of the preparations are being made in secret. As for the military might of the Zhao family, it is definitely not weaker than any of the empires. There is only one reason why there has not been any movements. All the powerhouses need a justifiable reason. In other words, they are waiting for a chance. Mr. Kin's face changed as he asked, how did you deduce that? Ling Tian smiled slightly, his fair-looking face plastered a sweet-looking smile. But in the eyes of Mr. Qin, it was filled with a bone-piercing chill. He could not help but tremble for a moment. Chapter 32, I want to reject the marriage. Ling Tian coldly smiled as he said, Mr. Qin, I actually have a hypothesis, not sure if you would believe it? His tone was full of natural confidence, as though he could not possibly be wrong. Mr. Qin wanted to question him, what exactly was his hypothesis? However, he was unconsciously affected by Ling Tian's imposing manner and could not even speak a single word. At such a young age, with such a tiny body, how was it that he could release such a domineering wave of aura? And furthermore, an aura not born of anger but majesty. Ling Tian himself did not notice that his actions and behavior at that particular moment had already deviated from that of a child's. His head was lowered as he paced 2 steps, organizing his thought process before continuing, I hypothesize, no, I'm sure, that first, the military supplies and armor that the Zhao family had provided to the other empires were all second-class products, or only made from ordinary materials. The real armors should be kept in their own secret storages, waiting for the opportunity to be used. Secondly, the Zhao family should definitely have a secret task force hidden somewhere remote, or appearing in this world under another alias. Thirdly, once chaos strikes and the other countries engage in war, the Zhao family would definitely take advantage of the situation. The last sentence of Ling Tian remained unspoken, and that was, when chaos strikes, the people with the final laugh were most likely to be the Zhao family. However, that would only be the case if the Ling Tian now did not exist in this world, only then could they obtain their sweet victory. However, the circumstances have changed. Since I, Ling Tian, am brought here, how could I allow you to manipulate whatever you please? Gritting his teeth, Ling Tian smiled coldly as the thoughts ran unspoken deep within his eyes. Mr. Qin was completely blown away by Ling Tian. Seeing that little child in front of him, he had no idea how he actually could have come up with such a deduction, but deep within his heart, he faintly felt as though Ling Tian's deductions were not merely baseless claims. Looking at Ling Tian, Mr. Qin asked, then, now that you know all this knowledge, what are you planning to do? As he spoke, the latter did not realize that his tone had already undergone somewhat of a change. It was as though he was trying to discuss an important matter, or using the attitude of a person seeking an answer from someone high up that he could not help but subconsciously respect. Only to see Ling Tian give a lofty smile and say, I want to decline the marriage. What? Even in his dreams did Mr. Qin not expect that even after grasping the frightening strength of the Zhao family, Ling Tian would still go ahead and speak such an earth-shattering sentence. This was something completely unbelievable. Furrowing his brows, Ling Tian thought deeply for a while before replying, declining the marriage is for my own safety. The Ling family is currently in a mess both internally and externally, shaking as though it is about to topple any time. I'm afraid that in these 10 years, we cannot withstand any form of torment. In addition, after a few more years, when I've grown bigger, I will execute a thorough clean sweep throughout the entire Ling family. All the internal moles, including those sent out from the various major families, are not allowed to stay inside here. After the sweep I will then restructure the Ling family, and thus before I resmelt the Ling family into an iron board. Before that, it must not receive any unrest, no matter how trivial. This was the first time Ling Tian had frankly spoken his mind about his ideals after arriving to this world. Just based on his tone, it was already full of bloodshed and slaughter. Mr. Qin was only listening at the side, but already felt his spine turning cold with cold sweat dripping down his body. It made him desire to cover his ears to block off his voice, as he could very well imagine how Ling Tian's supposed clean sweep would be carried out, and how much bloodshed would actually be spread. From the humongous power that the Ling family currently possessed, how many people would actually die before he fulfills his supposed cleansing? But one thing was for sure, it would not be a small sum. Ling Tian was helpless too. After these few days, Mr. Qin was already placed in the same boat as Ling Tian himself, and was the only person that he could trust currently. Secondly, Mr. Qin's current status was Ling Tian's tutor, and had to ensure that he was compatible with any movements Ling Tian made in the future, or else just based on Ling Tian's grandparents and parents, these four huge mountains would be able to restrict all of Ling Tian's movements. If that's the case, the Ling family would be a sitting duck. Thirdly, there were many things that Ling Tian, at his current age, could not deal with, and thus Mr. Qin was an ideal candidate to carry out his plans. With a smile without the slightest hint of moodiness, Ling Tian continued, if the Ling family were to maintain this relationship of in-laws with the Zhao family, then once the Zhao family makes their move, the Ling family would be dragged into this scene. I cannot place the well-being of the Ling family on the hopes that the Zhao family will not make a move during the next 10 years. That would be a gamble and is considered too much of a risk. Furthermore, even though the Ling family is in its golden age, we still have to cut this sort of ties with the Zhao family. This is because once things get messier, the Ling family will end up as a form of vassal to the Zhao family. And I, Ling Tian, will not allow my family members to live being under others. As such, Ling Tian gave an uninterested smile. I want to reject the marriage. Sweat dripped unceasingly from Mr. Qin's forehead. Never in his dreams did he imagine that Ling Tian actually had such foresight. Even in their dreams, no one would have expected the best ally in this world, the biggest financial magnate, the Zhao family, would actually be something to fear and avoid in Ling Tian's eyes. And even in their dreams, no one would have expected this little child's ambitions to be so huge. Unwilling to allow my family members to live being under others. This sort of resonating words, what great ambition. Not willing to live under others, then the ending can only be that the Ling family be above all the rest. But placed above who? What was he planning to do? Mr. Qin stared into Ling Tian's eyes, his own filled with dread. Ling Tian smiled affably, as though his smile hid a deeper meaning, and said, Sir, I am but an ordinary little kid. You should understand this point. Mr. Qin thought to himself, bullshit. You're definitely not an ordinary child. How can an ordinary child have such intellect as well as cunningness, thinking of all the different points like you? Thinking from another angle, Mr. Qin could not help but be overwhelmed with shock. Not a normal child. His sentence encapsulated many meanings. Was it a sort of hint? When Ling Tian said that sentence at that time, it was of course not to tell Mr. Qin himself that he was a demon. That would be complete nonsense. Unless this kid was actually a sort of savior sent personally by the heavens themselves. Other than that explanation, there was no other reasoning that could fit why this 5-year-old would have so many inconceivable matters happening around him. Mr. Qin's eyes opened as wide as bells at that thought, staring at Ling Tian without moving a muscle. In these eyes flashed fear, fright, disbelief, respect, hope. In just that short moment, over 100 forms of emotions overflowed from Mr. Qin's heart. Unable to bear the burden, Mr. Qin suddenly fainted. Chapter 33, Destiny. Don't tell me you're sent from heaven? This sentence sounded out like a groan, and Mr. Qin himself did not even know how he managed to ask. He felt as though he was in a dream, as though his spirit was floating halfway in the air. Seeing how Mr. Qin's face lost its color, Ling Tian could not help but let out a bitter smile. This was just following through with whatever that he said. He merely felt as though his previous performance was much too eye-catching, and with no options left, he could only speak whatever came to mind without first processing it. He had just wanted to label himself as a genius, since geniuses existed in this world. By operating under the cover of a genius, this would allow people to feel less inferior. How would he have known that his ordinary words would be taken by the old man as though he was someone sent from the heaven? To think that this was preordained by heavens, my God. What was that old man's brains made of? This kind of imagination, wasn't it just too rich? Mr. Ken took a long time before his spirit finally returned to reality, hurriedly taking a step forward. This expression looked crazed as he grabbed onto Ling Tian's collar, saying, "Say, were you expressly sent by the heavens? Were you?" Ling Tian was grabbed so tightly he was literally suffocating. With difficulty, he took a breath of air, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. I guess I can be considered. Damn it, there should not be any problem saying that he was sent by the heavens, right? After all, he had secretly snuck out from the yellow springs of the underworld. If he did not possess a measure of blessings from the heavens, he would probably have been reincarnated back in his previous world. Just using this point for reference, one could say that it seemed as though the heavens willed it, so there you go. Mr. Ken finally loosened his hands, his eyes vacant, yet wearing an ecstatic expression. The poor old man finally went mental after all the mental shocks given by Ling Tian. "Mister, wake up. Mister." After Ling Tian called out a few times, did Mr. Ken come to his senses as though waking up from a dream. The moment the latter saw Ling Tian's face, he hurriedly stood up and tidied his robes, before giving a stately expression as he kowtowed on the ground. Ling Tian started to sweat profusely. This old fellow was obviously trying to shorten his longevity. He hurriedly stretched out his hand to help him back up. The old man panicked on the spot. "Manners can't be abandoned. You are an envoy sent from heaven. Are you telling this old man that he doesn't even have the qualifications to pay respect to you?" Ling Tian was absolutely horrified. "You old man, after studying for your entire lifetime, your brain probably got muddled from all the studying. I have not even tried to dupe you and you're already like that. If I ever con you, then won't you probably have a heart attack and just die right there?" Seeing how the old man was extremely moved, prostrating himself on the floor without any intentions of moving, Ling Tian was rendered speechless. Looks like he could only con him into getting up. Cough, cough, two harsh coughing sounds rang out, as Ling Tian spoke with a stern face. "Mister, what you're doing is wrong, right now, only you know of my identity, so if you insist on doing so, then do you know the consequences if the news were to leak out? All the major powers as well as everyone in this world will treat me as their enemy, and would definitely want to silence me early. As for the Ling family, they would obviously be dragged into the muddied waters. All that I said, could be caused by you merely wanting to pay your respects to me. Have you thought about it?" Mr. Ken got terrified out of his wits. He stood up in a fluster of arms and legs, saying, "This old man has gone silly. Will young noble please forgive me?" After thinking, he still did not know how to address Ling Tian, and thus reluctantly settled with the term young noble. Ling Tian felt a headache coming. "Sir, please resume your original address of me. Are you trying to kill this kid here?" However, Mr. Ken shook his head with a firm expression, remarking, "In private, respect must be shown. Only then can this old man's heart be at ease." Feeling depressed, Ling Tian could only attempt to salvage the situation. "If Mr. behaves this way, I will not be at ease too. Furthermore, within the Ling family, the major powers' spies are pervasive. If someone were to spy on us, then all that we have hidden would be a wasted effort. Thus, at any time, we cannot be like this. As long as Mr. is aware of, that is sufficient. Why must you show it externally?" Mr. Ken acted as though he had just woken from a dream, saying, yes, this old man was befuddled. "Ha ha ha, as long as I have God in my heart, then God will naturally exist." Ling Tian truly felt like cradling his head and walking out. With no options, he could only change the subject. "A moment ago, we had already spoken about this. The arranged marriage must be withdrawn. But how do we do it? This needs to be discussed seriously." Mr. Ken seemed to be gradually returning to his normal state. "Then how you do plan on going about this matter?" Ling Tian let out a smile. Finally he had pulled the old guy's attention back. Being already prepared, he said, the best policy for this matter would be for the bride's party to voluntarily carry out the withdrawal. This made Mr. Ken ask in bewilderment, this marriage has already been arranged. How could the matrimony between the Zhao and Ling families be a small matter? This benefits both families quite a bit, so why would the Zhao family take the risk of souring relations to voluntarily withdraw? With a sly smile, Ling Tian replied, if I guess correctly, given the great ambitions of the Zhao family, what will happen when they find out that the young master of the Ling family, their future son-in-law, is merely a domineering and unreasonable child, without a hint of a future? Everybody can see that the Ling family is at the heart of the struggle, tossing and turning based on the storm. Furthermore, both the previous two generations of the Lings are loyal to a fault to the empire, without any possibility of them rebelling. With such an ally of no use and instead creates more trouble, would the master of the family still insist on using his granddaughter's happiness to trade? In this scenario, what do you think they will do? Mr. Ken sharply breathed in, saying, if that's the case, then if I'm the Zhao family's head, I would definitely choose to withdraw. However, how do we let the Zhao family know about all these? With a secretive smile, Ling Tian continued, doesn't Sir have your old friend Zhao Fenghan? Before making such a big decision, will he not come over to ask his old friend how the Ling family's young master is like? At that time, you just need to say as such. And as such. And all would be sealed. Hey hey hey. A line of sinister laughter could be heard. Mr. Ken felt his back suddenly full of cold sweat. This little devil. He, old man Ken, started to pray for the future opponents that would be going against Ling Tian. Against this little devil, one was really seeking his own death. All of a sudden, Mr. Ken had another question. Since young noble wishes to withdraw, then, no matter which side speaks first, it doesn't matter, does it? Why must it be them to suggest? Snorting, Ling Tian answered, to withdraw, especially when the family's prestige is on the line, how can one just simply speak about withdrawing? If the Zhao family wishes to annul it without a price, how could that be possible? This caused Mr. Ken to break out in sweat. How despicable. How shameless. This little thing was definitely sent from the heavens. He obviously wanted to withdraw from the marriage, yet planned to make the other party speak of doing so first. All these just to profit from this matter. Mr. Ken had seen many shameless people in his life, yet this was his first time witnessing shamelessness brought to the utmost degree. He could still hear Ling Tian muttering to himself, although withdrawing is good, I should at least be able to extort an armory of weapons. However, what would happen if I fall for the last from the Zhao family? AI. If that's the case, I can only kidnap her when the time comes. Mr. Ken felt like covering his face and running for his life.